I'm attorney Nick Alcock, and if you've been charged with a misdemeanor DUI in Arizona, our law firm is here to help you. There are a lot of people that have questions about what will that DUI do to my license, and how does a DUI affect my license. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to put together a video that answers all the questions about how the Arizona Motor Vehicle Department works, because quite honestly, it is a complicated organization. Anybody who's sat in the MVD office knows that they don't necessarily run things exactly pristinely. So it's very difficult for me to say in general what will happen to someone who's charged with a DUI, because it depends on whether or not they've been in trouble before. Depends on whether or not they've got civil traffic violations. Depends on whether or not this is their first DUI or second DUI, etc., etc. In general, what you need to know, if you've just been arrested for a DUI, you have 15 days to ask for an MVD hearing, and if you don't ask for that hearing, your license will be suspended automatically, assuming you got what's called the admin per se form. And you should have that form in your possession if you were just arrested, and it will say what will happen if you don't ask for the MVD hearing. And on the top it says admin per se. So if you have that document, that means your license will be suspended. Now, I caution you, if you continue to drive and you don't pay attention to that, say that you get pulled over and you are impaired again, that what otherwise would be a misdemeanor DUI becomes a felony DUI. Some people don't realize that DUI arrest actually can lead to that driver's suspension, and that document is notice that the license is going to be suspended. So when you come to our office, if you've just been arrested for DUI, we look at that admin per se and we try to determine very quickly, okay, is your license going to be suspended? And critically, what we want to look at is whether or not the police officer views your interaction with the officer as a refusal. Did you refuse to give a breath test, or did you refuse to give blood? Because if you did, then your license could be suspended for a year, and that will be right there on the admin per se. And you have to ask for an MVD hearing under those circumstances, because if you let that time lapse, so you come to us on the 16th day or the 20th day, your license can actually be suspended for a year, and there's very little that an attorney can do about it. Once that bell is rung, it's hard to unring it, and your license could be lost for a year. Our job is to ask for that hearing and then go and argue your case in front of the judge, who will consider whether or not your license should be suspended and whether or not your license should be taken away for a year if you refused. Obviously, the name of the game here is we want to win a case. Any case that comes in the door, the name of the game is it possible to win this case? And it is possible to win DUI cases. It's certainly easier for us if we begin at the very beginning, especially when it comes to your license issue. We want to take a look at that admin per se form within 15 days of someone getting pulled over. Now, when it comes to suspension issues, one thing that you have to be very aware of is that suspension, that to and from work permit that a lot of people talk about. They say you have a complete suspension for 30 days, and then for 60 days, you have a to and from work school permit, restricted license. I urge people always that when they think that they are eligible to drive, and when they think that they've entered into that time period where they can drive to and from work, it's very, very important for them to go to the motor vehicle department and confirm that. Because again, if you have other traffic tickets, if you have other things on your license, you may not be eligible to drive, and you might be driving on a suspended license, and so it's important for you to know that. In general, the refusal is a 1-year suspension. There are exceptions to that rule, and I'd be happy to speak with you about that if you want to come into the office. And then in general, a admin per se suspension of just being over the limit, if the allegation is that you blew into a machine or they took your blood and you're over the limit, that admin per se suspension is 90 days, 30 days complete suspension, 60 days you get this restricted license. But like I said, so important for you to go to the motor vehicle department and confirm absolutely 100% that there isn't anything else pending on your license. Because if you have another suspension, or if you have some other issue going on, some people have multiple driving on suspended license charges, multiple speeding tickets and the like. If that's your situation, then even though you're technically eligible for that to and from work permit, if you have other things going on with your license, that won't help you, and you'll still be suspended, or you won't be able to drive legally. So if you have questions about how DUI affects your license and your privilege to drive, give us a call, 602-989-5000. My name is Nick Alcock, and I'm here to help you. Thanks so much.